everywhere but YouTube, of course. Waiting for YouTube to kick on, and then we'll be going here and watching. All right, looks like we're live everywhere. All right, welcome back to episode 281 of the Guiding Guns podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about guns and the responsible Christian owners' interest. On this week's show, we'll be talking about the Breona Taylor incident up in Louisville, Kentucky, and the facts the media and the BLM won't talk about. They failed to mention. Yeah, while Louisville burns. First, I want to thank Oath Keepers TV for what's left of it. Oath Keepers has been under a social media attack. Twitter took them down. Facebook took them down. All of the channels that Oath Keepers TV had have been taken down. The only thing that works at Oath Keepers TV right now is Oath Keeper YouTube. And who knows how long that's going to last. So they're trying to take down the Patriots and call them racist, which is pretty odd because the guy running the Louisville security detail right now is a man of color. So are a lot of the members. But Oath Keepers TV is still trying to do its thing. Strike TV is still doing their thing. And you guys go over and check out oathkeepers.org if you've not checked it out, especially if you're a first responder or former first responder, or military or police. We are needing volunteers up in Louisville to help out, especially if you've got military combat experience or police experience. There's a nationwide call for people to come in. There's people from Florida and Texas and all over the country. They've come in to try to help defend businesses that are being torched up there in the name of justice, which these people had nothing to do with this whole incident, and it's amazing. But I also want to thank
who do we want to thank?
Crossbreed.
Yep, we do. I was watching the comments coming in on the other one.
Oh, okay.
Crossbreed holsters. Hey, you've heard us talk about if you're carrying a gun on your person in your vehicle, or if your wife has one in her pocketbook, Crossbreed makes a holster for you. Go check our buddies out at crossbreedholsters.com. Carry the cross. Also, PowerTac lights, the most bright lights that you are going to get, and they do a good justice to us and our listeners and give you a 40% discount just for listening to the show, which is it was a pretty good sale. So go check our buddies out at PowerTac.com.
Good deal. This week's Guiding Gun activities, Doug, what have you been up to?
Let's see, on the God side, Sportsman's Daily Devotional, Hospital Devotional, and did church live on Sunday. Live on the internet on Sunday. So got to check that out. The gun side, I've been going run around the gun stores looking at stuff and messing around. I did a little pig hunting the other night, and I had a pretty good time, except I had a bear decide he wanted to come in right at the dark. Yeah, he come in and just decided to lay down in the corn and decided to guard it for himself. And I had a pig that was trying his best to come in, and every time he'd run out there, he'd smell that bear or see him and take off before I could shoot him. So the bear finally left. I got him on video. I got a pretty good thermal video of him. Well, he was about 150 yards out, so I wasn't trying too hard, but he finally walked off, and I was like, all right, it's going to get good now. So I'm watching through the thermal, and I seen something coming up the road. I was like, here we go. And it was that bear came back, and he laid there for 2 hours and just laid in the corn, just rolling around, having a good time. And about 12:30 at night, a pig finally decided that he couldn't take it no more, and he was going to battle the bear for it. And the bear kind of walked off in the edge of the woods. Well, I got a shot at the pig, and I hit him. He run in the same place where the bear was at. And I went down there, and I went in the woods. It was thick. I went in the woods about 30 yards or so, and I couldn't find no blood or anything right where he was at. It started raining a little bit. I'm like, well, that's going to be bear food this week. I'm not going in there too deep because I was by myself, and I just didn't feel like getting mauled.
It's a black bear, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could have taken a black bear by yourself, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're about the size of black bears.
I can tell you, I had my PowerTac headlamp on. I had a flashlight in one hand, and I had the Glock in the other hand. I'm waiting in there. I'm like, all right. I didn't know if the pig was wounded or if the bear was already at the pig or what. But have not seen him back on camera since, so I don't think he fared real well.
Mm,
A 6'5" Grendel put a whoop on him.
did you hear a swap?
Out. No, I did not, because the muzzle brake on that thing when I pulled the trigger on it, I didn't have hearing protection on, and
Oh my!
no, well, usually the axles and I do the exact same thing with it, but this one, the muzzle brake has got it. It blows back,
Yeah,
when it does it, and man, it rung my ears for 10 minutes, and I was like,
you ain't getting that back.
probably not. It came back and quit buzzing after a little while, so it wasn't too horribly bad. But did a little ammo shopping this week. Looking, I couldn't find nothing. Everybody's still sold out, and all my little honey holes have run dry, so I didn't get no ammo this week. And but a buddy of mine came into town. Andy and his wife Carrie came in this evening. They were on their way down for a little bit of a vacation. It's their anniversary, so happy anniversary to both of you, and y'all have a safe trip. But I picked up I think it's a 30 or 32-inch curved screen monitor from Andy that I'm running tonight, so I can actually see it without glasses on tonight with no problem. So
I can see.
I can see it's working good.
Like me when I got my new glasses, my old ones are like 8 years old. I got the new ones. Like, man, I didn't realize how bad the other ones were.
Just pecking around at the house on the computer stuff, I don't pay too much attention to it, and it makes it a little interesting once in a while when we're doing the show. Trying to keep up with what screen you're on, what you're doing, that kind of stuff. But when I'm at work, I run two 22-inch monitors, and then I have a 42-inch TV that's hooked in that I have for a big screen. So at home, I kind of forgot, how much I really enjoyed or needed a second monitor. So now I got one. So
Yep.
I'm
Well,
good. So what you been up to?
Google's decided to shut down my notes.
Oh, did it?
It says it's a server error. I don't know what's going on there. But maybe they'll come back here in a minute. Let's try to reload it. Weird. Well, I guess I'll go noteless. So what did I do?
Let's see.
Church. Did church on Sunday. I did security solo by myself because I don't know. So I don't know. Is your notes working? Because mine won't even connect to it. So I don't know what's going on, Doug. Let me shut all that down and try again.
You watch church online while you're in the security room.
Yeah. Well, I turned on my iPhone. Let's see. What else did I do?
Mom and Dad's new house.
Oh yeah, been working up there. I think I talked about that last week. Moved a lot of dirt. Was using our little bobcat or a little gale or however you want to pronounce it, and it crashed. Its belt started slipping. I tensioned it out as far as it would go, and there was no more room to tension. Well, whatever. Okay, so I can't see notes anymore. I don't know what's going on. Weird. Well, I don't know what to do. Let me see if I can open up another thing because I got a whole lot of stuff over there I need to see. Opened up another computer. Weird. So let's see.
You got a handgun class coming up.
Yep, I'm teaching a whole bunch of relatives that decide that they might want to know how to shoot the guns that they have in their closets they had never shot.
Oh, you're teaching this one?
Yeah, I'm teaching it. So I've got 5 or 6 distant family members that have gotten scared because of the Corona / BLM / Antifa / Democrats thugs, and so they've said, "Hey, we need to learn how to shoot," and they wanted me to teach them. So I'm doing that while I'm trying to do this, and it's not working too good. All right. So
You charging double price for family members?
no, no, can't charge too much for the family members. But got all my target stands set up. I got a place to shoot set up here at the back of the place, and but it's supposed to be raining today. It rained a little bit. I'm just hoping it don't get swampy. If it don't get swampy, I'm going because they just started shelling the corn. And the corn was surrounding the little area where I was going to build my 360 gun range, and it's dry now, and I can get the bulldozer in there now. So I'm hoping tomorrow to take the dozer over in there and make me a nice gun range while it's finally dry and cleared out. And I think I'm going to rent one of those little excavators and dig me a trench and tile that thing so I don't ever have so it doesn't flood again because it had never flooded since we lived here until this year, and then this year it actually held water. So uh, I think I can probably rent one of those for the day and get all that trenched out. Put me I don't know 3 or 4 lines in there for that. So I have a good place to do my concealed carry training and carbine training and practicing and all that. My oldest son, and of course, Gunner wants to shoot. And since I've put cattle on the farm and since all of the crops are in and we got alfalfa out everywhere, there's not a really good place to shoot on the farm without tearing up crops or shooting near cattle. So that's on the top of my list to get done. Been working on taxes. We don't because we got some corporate stuff. I don't ever get to file my taxes till September or October till all those reports are in. So been on the phone with accountants for the last 3 days or internet, sending emails and documents and stuff back and forth.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially since I've been audited every year since 2015. We keep getting audited. It's like there's a Democrat in the White House again. We've been getting audited since Obama left. It's just an ongoing audit. Uh, but there's that. Somebody's mad about something, so I don't know what that's about. David Carson. Oh well. So we got. I can't get my notes up. Ah. Why don't you go ahead and tell the joke? I'll come back to this, or you can tell about your concealed carry, your EDC, and I'll
Oh,
see if I can get this to open up.
all right. So EDC tonight, I have my Glock 19 with my student of the gun night vision sights on it, and it is in my crossbreed Super Tuck Deluxe. I brought out because um, usually I just have the gun out here with me, but I had it in the holster tonight because we just came in from dinner. So I just when I pulled it off, I want to show it so you can tell it has been worn and it is broken in perfect. So I have that one, and I have the Spartan Auto Knife with the Damascus steel blade in it. Which, dude, I'm loving this thing. I like it. I worked on the blade a little bit the other night and sharpened it up, and it'll shave you now. So it's quite nice. I like it.
Interesting.
Still won't open up for you?
It won't open up on the Apple. It won't open up on the Windows. It won't open up on Internet Explorer. It won't open up on Google Chrome. It won't open up on what's the Safari. It's getting to be a little bit aggravating at this point. Come on.
Steve said he loves his Super Tuck Deluxe. Me too.
Yeah, I really like mine. I actually broke mine this. Well, it didn't break. We just got a crack in it, and so I'm sending in for a warranty repair. Replace it. If anything goes wrong with it,
That's right.
well, I don't know what is the deal here.
It's a shame when you got umpteen computers sitting around and you can't get stuff to come up on none of them.
Uh, I don't understand. I mean, it's like my Google account has disappeared. It doesn't find it anywhere. It's a 503 error. What's that mean?
503 can't find it.
That's what it's saying.
But is it Google? Is it you got it on your Google Drive?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe up where your server up where you're around, because I'm up on Google Drive. Mine's working.
I don't know. Well, let's see. So on the gut side, yeah. My dad's 79th birthday was Monday, so we went up and celebrated that. Had cake. Krista made him a Hawaiian cheesecake, which is his favorite, and that's pretty much the only one she can make. But no, I'm just kidding. She can make good stuff. She just chooses only to make my father nice Hawaiian cheesecake. She didn't ever make me none. But
You can't get her to hook you up with one?
no, man. It's like my dad can get a Hawaiian cheesecake anytime I ask for one, but it's for me. It's just no. Uh, but enjoyed spending some time with mom and dad, and then I'd worked over the weekend, and I actually ran Bobcat Sunday afternoon because it popped up something Holmes drive for my team. What the heck? I don't know what's going on. What in the heck? Okay. It's lost my passwords. Just lost my login. It acts like it doesn't know me. I don't know what's going on. I think Google has figured out who I am, Doug.
Steve said big sister's after Troy.
Eh, something. Come on. Is it going to open up? Spiral of death going the wrong direction. Okay, so we got church, family, request canceled. It won't let me end it at all. So apparently I can't access Google Drive anymore. So you may have to send me that in a text message or something. I guess Google's down. Well, luckily, for the moment, YouTube's still up.
It is.
So hopefully we'll stay on here for a while. A different account, thank goodness. Yeah. It says they can't let me have access to it. Okay, so God's side done. Personal side, I've been working on the farm. We got our alfalfa up Monday. We got. I went and bought some hay for the winter for the cattle. I bought some because I don't feed them alfalfa because they're not that good at cows. It's too expensive for my cows. Some non-sprayed, non-GMO, Roundup ready hay, and got like 220 bales, and have it in the barn on wagons. I'm trying to find help to get put up in the barn. It's just me and Gunner, and I got my left shoulder still out of commission, and so I'm gonna have to one-hand it, and he's gonna have to pack it by himself and stack it, I guess, unless I can find some help. Everybody seems to be busy. And then let's see what else. Was going to work on the pond, the old dried out pond, and complete it into the gun range finally. The corn's up. Yeah, they got that corn up today, so I can drive the bulldozer in there without tearing up crops. And then what else is there? That's pretty much. Talking about Louisville, my cousin-in-law, my cousin's husband, is an EMT up in Louisville, and he's stationed in, if you guys are in Kentucky, you might know, the upper Okolona area, close to Indian Trail area. They got shot. Their firehouse got shot up this week. He called me up and said, "Hey, I need a swivel sling I need a swivel for my sling, a quick detach one." And he said, "You got one?" I thought, "Let me look." I went and dug around my boxes and I found one, and hooked him up, and I was like, "What's going on?" And he said, "Well, I'm carrying my AR pistol with me at work because we're getting shot at, we're getting threatened, and everything else." He said, "We're all been carrying our pistols." He said, we're all wearing armor now. They've issued them body armor. This is the fire department slash ambulance service. This is not police. This is they're shooting at the firehouse. That's how stupid it is in Louisville right now. But so you guys be praying for him. His name's Sam. He's in harm's way. And then my cousin, she's a nurse with hospice up in Louisville as well. So she has to go into some pretty rough parts of town too. So it's been hairy for both of them. And he was saying, "Oh, I'm on my way to the academy to get some 223-556." I said, "I don't think you're gonna find any." But so I told him I'd hook him up. He couldn't find any, so I think I'm gonna grab a couple hundred rounds and give him because I think he's down. He was down to like 300 rounds, and he needed some more ammo. So we're gonna get him topped off and taken care of. If anybody wants to donate some ammo, I can give you an address. But everybody's trying to find it for themselves right now. But yeah, I mean it's scary, man. When you got people shooting. I mean, they actually shot while he was there. They shot through the door of the fire department, and they had some kind of fight going on out in the street there or something. Yeah, this is awful. I can't see nothing. I don't know where anything is at. This is driving me nuts. Okay.
Bill said it might be a Kentucky thing because he's having some issues as well. He said he's on the other side of the state.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's still getting a 503 here on all different things. I was going to see if my phone would do it, but I don't know if my phone will be on different.
They could have one of their nodes down up there or something.
Okay.
Hard to say.
So if I had another VPN, I would not have that problem then necessarily, right? If I had VPN that was in like Denmark or somewhere.
Possible.
I need to get one of them.
Yeah, but you're still trying to get to that same Google Drive. So wherever they got it housed for you, wherever the data center's at.
Surely it's not in Kentucky.
You never know. I would imagine they have several.
Huh. Yeah, that's just weird. I never had this happen ever before. That's the weird part. It never ever happened before until I'm online. And then let's see.
So what you got for EDC tonight?
I am packing Glock 30S. Hey, it's working. They must have heard us complaining about Glock 30S, which is a 45 ACP with a 10+1 and a slim double stack configuration, the size of a Glock 29, or about the same size as a Glock 19. All right, let's see. I'm also packing the Bunker Buster tonight.
The Bunker Buster.
The Bunker Buster. She stays close by hand.
Oh, you got a see-through mag in it today.
Yeah, I got Lancer in it. No, yeah, I know how many more rounds I got to feed them. That Lancer don't like this gun too much. It does well in the Falcor, and it does okay in my truck gun. But for some reason, the Bunker Buster doesn't want to seat well. And I've got it downloaded to 28 rounds like I always do. I don't know what's going on with that. But now I can see my notes. Let me see where I'm supposed to be telling you. Put up cows, hay, skidder, dirt, mowing. Okay, that's pretty much my guiding gun stuff. EDC covered. Packing the EDC, packing the SOCOM, Microtech SOCOM auto folder. And it's looking a bit rough, but it's a daily carry. Love that little knife. Well, ain't that little knife. And then that's sharp. Yeah, it's sharp. It'll stick you. All right, that's my guy gun stuff. What have you got going on for a joke?
Let's see, joke tonight. So it's speeding ticket, and my buddy Rick sent me this one. So I hadn't heard it, so I figured I'd run this one through. It's pretty good. So before he died, Billy Graham was returning to Charlotte after speaking at an engagement. When his plane arrived, there was a limousine waiting to transport him to his home. As he prepared to get in the limo, he stopped and spoke to the driver. He said, "You know, I'm 87 years old and I have never driven a limousine. Would you mind if I drive it for just a little while?" So the driver said, "No problem. Be my guest." So Billy gets behind the driver's seat and headed off down the highway. A short distance away, he said a rookie state trooper operating his first speed trap. The long black limousine went by him doing 70 miles an hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. So the trooper pulled out and easily caught up behind the limo. And he got out of his patrol car to begin his procedure. The young trooper walked up to the driver's door, and when he rolled down the glass, he was surprised to see who was driving. He immediately excused himself and went back to his car and called his supervisor. He told his supervisor, he said, "I know we're supposed to enforce a law, but I also know that important people are given certain courtesies." He said, "I need to know what I should do because I stopped a very important person." The supervisor asked, "Is it the governor?" The trooper said, "No, he's more important than that." The supervisor said, "Oh, is it the president?" He said, "No, it's even more important than that." The supervisor finally said, "Well, who is it?" The trooper said, "I think it might be Jesus because he's got Billy Graham driving the car for him."
Uh, I've got an old joke. I don't know if you guys have heard it or not, but I heard it again. I don't know, sometime this last week. But it's a duck hunting joke. So I thought you'd appreciate it, Doug.
This ain't one like the way Krista appreciates my blonde jokes, is it?
No.
Okay.
So this city slicker boy comes out to the country and he decides he's going to go hunting. So he's looking around for a place to hunt, and he's walking along down the side of the road, and he sees a pond, and he sees these ducks flying off in the distance coming in, and he's like, "I'm going to kill me a duck." And so he gets his shotgun out, and he's sitting there waiting, and the duck flies in, comes over the pond, and he pulls his shotgun out and shoots, and the duck starts flopping and flies over into the farmer's field and hits the barn and bounces off the roof of the barn, rolls off the roof and lands on the yard of the farmer. And so he walks over to the farmer's yard there and opens up the gate, go into the farmer's gate, and starts walking over to the duck. The farmer comes out, "What are you doing, boy?" And he said, "I come to get the duck I shot." He said, "That ain't your duck. That's my duck." He said, "Well, I shot him in the air. He just happened to land here." He said, "He's on my property. He's my duck." He said, "You city boys don't know nothing about how we do things out here in the country, do you?" He said, "Well, I was just, hunting. I thought I could come and get my duck. I didn't know it was a problem." He said, "Well, you want that duck? We'll handle it redneck style." I don't know if it's redneck style or country style. He said, "We'll handle it country style or something like that." He said, "Country style? What's country style?" He said, "Well, it's like this. I walk up and I kick you in the crotch as hard as I can. And then if you survive, then you kick me in the crotch as hard as I can. And the first person that gives up is a winner." He says, "Oh, man, I don't know if I want that." He said, "But I do want my duck." He said, "Is that the only way?" "Yeah, that's the only way. That's the way we do it here." And so he said, "Well, if it's the only way I can do it, let's do it." Farmer hauls back. He kicks him so hard he comes off the ground about 6 inches. Oh, he's falling on the ground. He rolls around. He's moaning. Ah, he's kicking his legs. He's panting. He turns blue. He starts throwing up. He rolls around, crawls back. Whew. Finally gets his breath back, stands up 30 minutes later and says, "All right, my turn." He goes, "That's all right. You can have the duck."
You can have him. You can have the duck.
That's an old Buddy Hackett joke.
That's a good one.
All right. So
You can have the duck.
you can have the duck. All right, Bible verse tonight is our familiar one for you guys that have have listened to me very long. It comes from Romans 13. Let's see if I can get this up on the screen where you guys can see it. I don't know why this is doing that thing and this thing. Close that. It's amateur night here on God and Guns. We might be means website's unavailable. Thank you. Appreciate that. And being censored. What's going on here? Okay. Submission to authorities. Now, Romans 13, we've had a lot of discussion on that. We've had on a couple of different pastors to talk about this. We had on Greg Hopkins to talk about it. What is the meaning of Romans 13? And Romans 13 applies to, generally speaking, the rule of law is how we're to be governed. So, submission to authorities is a title under the ESV, and under verse, we're going 1 down through 5 here. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there's no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resist what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. For rulers are not terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good, and you will receive his approval. For he is God's servant for good. But if you do wrong, be afraid. I don't know what's going on. My watch is going off all of a sudden. Be afraid. For God's servant, what is going on? I got windows popping up all over the place here. Okay. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for it does not bear the sword in vain, for he is the servant of God, and an avenger who carries out God's wrath on wrongdoers. Therefore, one must be in subjection, not only to avoid God's wrath, but also for the sake of conscience. Sorry about that. I really stumbled through that, and I am falling on my face all night tonight, and we've lost like most of our audience. So back to the verses. What is it talking about? Well, it's talking about, it's pretty plain to see. As believers, we're called to live according to the law. If we're able to, if the law is just, if the law is not doing something that is going against God's commandments, that's the defining line. We have to obey God rather than man. Okay, so that's the defining part of this verse. This is the part that we have to walk that line, right? But as long as it is good law that keeps everyone safe, law that is designed to protect the innocent and uphold justice, then we're to obey that. Like not killing cops and not resisting arrest and not doing those things that would cause someone to get hurt. All these people they're protesting over, there's a criminal element to their background. Every single one of them. They were breaking the law. Or with people who were breaking the law, and then they incurred the results of doing stupid things with stupid people. You get stupid prizes, and so it's not being harsh. It's being realistic. When you go places that you shouldn't go, or you are doing things that you shouldn't do, and when you're breaking the law, you're putting your life at risk. It's like if your children go out and drink and drive, when you tell them not to do that, it's likely they're going to die, or good chance that it could happen, right? You're increasing the risk that something bad's going to happen to you. And then to blame the law enforcement for the fact that you're breaking a law is some kind of mental illness, because if you're committing a crime and breaking the law, that's not a cultural thing. That's a criminal thing. And to try to say certain people can't follow the law, that's not true. I mean, everybody can follow the basic tenets of the law. Now, or it would be defined for Christians if they tell us we can't go to church to the point where we can't even physically go to the church, then we are to be civilly disobedient, right?
Like they did recently.
Yeah, when it's laws that are against our basic rights in the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights, and when you start doing those kind of things, then you're saying that government has the right over God, which it does not over our personal rights. And so there is a fine line, and we have to make sure that whatever we do is honoring to God. And God says in Romans 13 through Paul that we are to be obedient to the law if at all possible. But Paul preached when they were saying he couldn't preach, and he was jailed and prison and ultimately killed and martyred. But we have to make sure that as long as it's something that's reasonable, like we don't go around selling drugs, and we don't go around shooting people, and we don't go around beating people up and things like that, that we follow those laws, that we don't harm. It falls under the love your neighbor. If you love your neighbor, you don't commit those kind of crimes, right? Or any kind of crime. All right, so that was the Bible verses. We're going to go ahead and start talking about the Breona Taylor incident. And I know this is a hot topic. It is here in Kentucky for sure. It has been for some time. But the report came out about Breona, or the grand jury came down, and finally the report was released from the grand jury that to not indict the 3 of the 4 officers. One of the officers who actually shot Breona was not charged with anything because she was in the house with her new boyfriend, who was also a drug dealer, and she was in the hallway while he started shooting at the police. So we'll start at the beginning of it. It was first, everyone was told that they walked into her house and shot her in the bed and assassinated her. Well, they didn't do that. They had a warrant for her arrest and a warrant to search her house and purposes and things like that. It was a no-knock warrant. They didn't have to knock, but they did knock. They came to the door, they knocked, and said police. And then the new boyfriend, who was a drug dealer as well, shot at the police officers as they were entering and hit one of the police officers, and they returned fire, which hit Breona and killed her. And she was not in her bed. She was in the hallway, and she was part of the struggle there in the hallway. So the officer that did get charged was the one who shot back and hit another apartment with his gun, and that was sort of like a what do they call that? Wanton endangerment charge. And so that's a lesser charge, but it's still a charge. And that's probably just to throw him to the wolves to try to keep them from burning Louisville down, I think. Because normally that wouldn't have been probably a charge. They also did not charge the boyfriend who shot at the police because they claimed that he said he didn't know it was police. He didn't hear them say police. The neighbors said they heard police. The neighbors heard the police knocking. They came out and started filming. So there's all kinds of evidence of that. Plus, there was an investigation that was ongoing before they ever went to her apartment for several months, is what I understand, videoing her apartment, the criminal activity going on in her apartment, the criminal activity going on with her car. Her car was spotted multiple drug drops and drug runs, and was used in a lot of criminal activity for the gang that her previous boyfriend, DeMarcus, what was his name? DeMarcus something.
I don't remember.
But the DeMarcus guy was the primary suspect of the gang, and then this other guy and Breona were also suspects because of she was like holding the money for DeMarcus Jackson, right? DeMarcus Jackson, something like that. I might be getting that last name wrong, but he was part of that same raid the same night that they were rounding up the whole gang. So what happened was that it fit in there.
Hey, before you go, drop your Bible verses down for just a second.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That way I can,
it's still up.
that way we can see you.
Boom.
There you are.
But those Bible verses are very applicable because if they had been obeying the law, they wouldn't be selling drugs, and they wouldn't have been in the harm's way, and she wouldn't have got shot. And no, it's not. She shouldn't have got killed because of it. But I'm sure lots of kids and people in that community have died of drugs and drug overdoses and the criminal activities that go along with drug abuse uh, because of her. So yeah, that's God's judgment on on how that goes. I'm not judging her, but when you choose to live a life of crime, you're likely to get yourself in a position of being harmed. And so that's the facts that you don't hear on the TV. The things that you hear on the TV is that Jim, hey,
Hey, Jim.
the things that you hear is that she was they walked in the wrong house by accident and shot her and killed her, and then they did it on purpose and they're just going around assassinating people. And she was a EMT. Well, she hadn't been an EMT for a long time, and the reason she wasn't an EMT was well, I don't know if they released that information yet, but I've heard from some sources that she had a reason that she didn't stay EMT very long. Don't know what that is. Just saying that's what I've heard. Some things about that. Maybe that'll come out later. But she was not an active EMT. She was active in driving around DeMarcus, whatever his name is, and this other guy that was shooting at the cops that caused her to get shot. Two different drug drops, and her car has been spotted in that. And so that's why she was on the radar. That's why she was on the warrant when they came to her apartment to check it out. And that was the whole thing. That's why they couldn't charge. The grand jury couldn't find any reason to charge officers because they went there with a warrant. They knocked on the door. They announced who they were, and they got shot at. They returned fire in self-defense, and she got caught in the crossfire because she's at the wrong place with the wrong person doing stupid stuff. That's what happens. That's what happened. It's sad. You don't want anybody to die, but on the flip side of that, she was peddling death. So, that's sort of the flip side of that. What do you know about Doug?
Well, pretty much the exact same thing that you were just talking about. She, the media puts out this propaganda right off the get-go with no investigation, no truth, no fact-finding, no nothing. This false narrative, it stirs up a hornet's nest because they're lying about it, basically. And, it amazes me that this Antifa and all this nonsense, the martyrs that they choose to pick and protest for, 99% of them have been thugs.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, I don't care. It's not a racial thing to me. If you jump on a police officer and try to take his gun or take his taser or fight with him and do bodily harm or pull a knife on him, you get what you get. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter to me.
Yep. Yeah, if I jump somebody and try to take the gun, I get a bullet in my head.
Yeah.
It's just I don't understand the people's mindset where that it's okay to resist the police because they're out killing us. They're not out killing people without reason, and they're not purposely trying to kill people. Almost every instance that I've seen is a return fire or a return to a violent act. The guy down in Georgia, I don't know, with a taser gun pointing it back at him. I mean, it wasn't a lethal weapon.
Dude, no. It is considered lethal according to the Attorney General from 2 weeks before. Yeah, because he fired his police officers because they tased a guy in a car that would not stop, and they tased him, and they fired the police officer because they said they used lethal force because they hit him with a taser. Lethal force. They fired the police officers. Well, after that happened at the Wendy's, they talked to that guy for 42 minutes. He was drunk in a car, passed out in the drive-through at McDonald's or Wendy's. Sorry, it was at Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
And they got him out of the car. They talked to him. Everybody was polite. Everything was fine up until the point they said they asked him to put his hands behind his back because they were going to arrest him. And he did not want to go to jail because he already had a charge. He was out on parole or something. He didn't want to go back to jail and started fighting, got the cop down, pulled his taser and took off running. They was chasing him, and he turned around and shot. Then the attorney general in Atlanta says that a taser was not lethal force, a lethal weapon when fired at you, even though they had fired police officers in Atlanta because they tased somebody and they said it was lethal. It was a lethal weapon. So you can't have it both ways. It either is or it ain't.
Yeah.
But they fired that thing at his head. And I'm sorry, if you fire a taser at a police officer and you hit him with it, that is going to immobilize him for an amount of time. And that person could go pull his gun from his holster when he can't do anything and turn around and kill him with it.
Oh, I thought the taser was empty. I didn't
Oh,
think that.
no. Oh, no. He fired at his head.
Oh, I thought that the taser was. First reports I was hearing, or the reports I was hearing, was the empty taser.
Mm-mm.
It had already been shot, so it was a live taser then.
Oh, yeah. You can actually watch the video. You can see when he's running, he's pointing it behind him as he's running, and he looks back. And when he pulled the trigger, you can see the taser deploy toward the guy's head.
Oh, wow.
But he missed him.
Yeah.
He didn't hit him. And then
Hard to hit somebody you're not aiming at, right?
Yeah, and that's when the officer shot him.
Yeah.
And, I hate it. But
yeah, but it's, if you're doing something stupid, that's the price you pay.
There's consequences for everything that you do.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's craziness, honestly. But that's like the Breona Taylor thing. I hate it for her that she lost her life, but that guy shot first at the police officer. I mean, what do you expect him to do? Not return fire and get killed? Like the other, 42 or 43 police officers this year that have been gunned down in cold blood?
Yeah, I mean, there's more police being killed unjustly than anything else this year.
Yeah, there's 42 of them this year that have been gunned down. So, I mean, where does it stop? In Louisville, last night, they had 2 police officers shot.
Yep. Stewart and the guys was just down the street from that. They were down there protecting the Shell station. Oath Keepers are down there. And they're needing help. If you guys are able to go, they want people that had experience with being a police officer or being in the military in some function that has something to do with guns, like MPs and things like that. Somebody that has experience with commanding people and observation and overwatch and what do you call it? Blending in with a crowd and all that kind of stuff. Surveillance. That's what they're talking about. But they need help. But the situation is, Lowell. I mean, we've got a mayor up there that's just the whole reason those people got shot. The whole reason that there was a big standoff last night was because the protesters were marching to the mayor's house, Mayor Fisher. And he put a line of police to protect his Democrat, but and so they started shooting off tear gas. As soon as they started shooting off the tear gas canisters and stuff, that's when the gunfire broke out. I don't know if you saw the video of it, but they were starting to push back and they were starting to fire the canisters and drive them down the street. And as soon as they did, gunfire opened up. 2 officers got hit. One was in surgery. I haven't heard what this current situation is on today. I've been running all day, but. Last I'd heard that there was 2 police officers hit and multiple fires. They had to put it out. They were setting everything they could find on fire. But it's just that lawless attitude that is prevailing right now.
I'm on the YouTube side, and Steve said, Steve, it was Portland last night or this past week, hired a pimp as a negotiator to bring peace there instead of officers, and they're paying him $150,000 a year. Seriously?
Culture of crime. I don't know. It's just the lawlessness of this nation right now that They praise everything that is ungodly and evil. I mean, we got people actually standing up for pedophiles. We got people standing up for criminals killing cops. We got people standing up for people beating up innocent people just at their own houses or walking down the street, and like that there's some kind of justification for this kind of behavior. uh, that lawlessness and crime and looting. I mean, there was looting going on last night all down the streets. A bunch of stores were getting hit and knocked in and stuff. The police were not there. They were back there protecting the mayor's house and government buildings. They weren't protecting the citizens' stuff. So that's why Oath Keepers has had to go in there, or has been asked to go in there and defend several businesses in the downtown area that have been receiving actual threats that they were going to burn them down.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to loot their places, and so they brought in Oath Keepers to come in there, and they had no incidents last night. They said everything went smooth, but they are going to need people to come in and help rotate in and out until this simmers down. But if we had a good leadership in Louisville, they'd put this stuff down quick. I mean, you can put this stuff down. You just got to commit the resources to it, and you got to have the resolve to do what it takes to shut it down. And we don't have a governor, nor do we have a city mayor up there that has the wherewithal or even the capacity to lead that kind of a challenge. I don't think.
Dude, they I don't know if you saw it in Louisville last night though. Right before dark, they brought in a U-Haul truck that was full of signs, shields, all kinds of stuff, and people were just going over that truck and they was handing stuff out, getting them ready. Yep. It didn't matter what verdict they came out with in that case yesterday. It did not matter one iota.
Oh yeah, I know. They'd already predetermined to do it. It was in Louisville. There was people driving up with in the cars with frozen water bottles and giving them to the protesters, and they were throwing them frozen water bottles. You throw a 1 pound ice block at somebody, you can do a lot of damage. I mean, that could
hurt them bad.
Yeah, you can knock somebody cold with that stuff, and that's what they're at. That was what they're doing. They knocking out windows with them and stuff. Oh, it's just a water bottle. No, it's a weapon. When you've frozen it and you're throwing it at somebody, that's lethal force. You're trying to hit somebody with a 1 pound block of ice.
Well, that's like I don't understand this either. I was talking to my brother last night, and I do not understand. They hadn't even came out. They hadn't even finished the grand jury. Nothing, and Louisville pays that family $12 million.
Yep.
For what?
They're trying to buy them off. That's what. That's what your Democrat mayor's trying to do. He's trying to buy some peace. He's trying to buy them off, man. He don't know how to be a leader. He just wants to try to win over, because that way he don't get lose the vote of that population. And he's just trying to buy them off. It's disgusting. It is. It's disgusting. It's pathetically disgusting. Oh well, we've rambled on.
John just posted. He said then you have a representative from Kentucky telling protesters not to stop and keep it up.
That's a rep from Louisville, isn't it? Louisville really is in Kentucky. Louisville is a bastion of its own mess.
It's its own deal.
It's its own creature. I lived there for 10 years, and I'm never going to move back. That's for sure. I was there for UPS college and for work for a period of time, but I'm not there anymore. I don't like to go there. I don't like. I used to like to go up and go to restaurants and stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
People are nuts up there, man. The way they drive, the way they talk to each other, treat each other, and now with a mask, I can't stand it. Everybody's got a mask on in their car, driving around with a mask on. Yeah, it's California, Kentucky. Yeah, it's just Moronville. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. Everybody and their brothers walking around with a mask on, and and I don't have no mask on. People are like,
Me neither. I don't either.
like, I had to go to the post office today, mail some stuff. Speaking of which, all you guys that asked for the Carolina holsters patches left from last week, they were all gone before the show was posted last night. I mean, last week. So everybody who asked for them, in like the first 30 minutes or so, got them all and they all mailed today. So I go in the post office today, and they got the signs on the door. Oh, you must wear a mask. You must. I walk in and I'm like, am I gonna wear a mask? He goes, oh no, you got. Finally, everybody's starting to get it. Walked in the stores. I'm not got a mask. Yeah, they're like, oh, you want a mask? I said, no, I don't wear a mask. So finally, the only person who wants a mask on is Andy and people who are afraid that they're going to die and go to hell. But as far as the rest of us, we're pretty much done with the mask.
I saw a perfect window decal the other day that said, "If you're in your car alone and you're wearing a mask, we don't have to guess who you're voting for."
Nope. You're going to vote for the placeholder.
Exactly.
The sleepy Joe rambling for a thought Biden.
Well, as
All
Trump
right.
said, they'll give him a big shot in the butt, and he'll be good for a couple hours during the debate.
I don't know what they're getting him a shot of, because everything they've been getting him shots of ain't working. Because did you see that last interview he did? Last thing he got there and did?
Oh yeah.
I mean, the dude don't know where he's at half the time.
Mm-mm.
He don't even know he's running for office. I don't think sometimes. And then he gets lost. And he'll say, "Oh, I'm talking too much."
Yeah.
No, he's got
I
an
can,
earbud in there or something.
I could tell you the answer to that, but it's not coming up on the teleprompter. So maybe next time.
wait, I'm hearing something. Well, what was that? Stop talking. Oh yeah, I need to stop talking. That dude is gone, man.
Oh yeah.
He's either got brain rot or I don't know. I mean, have you seen him sitting there squinting?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's like this. He's walking around like this all the time. And
Looking for a teleprompter.
I'm like, what is he doing? I didn't ever see anybody squint like that. I mean, even if you don't have your glasses, well, put some glasses on or put some contacts on or something. But it's like his brain's not there. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and stick a fork in that. She's done. Patches and stickers. I got several orders this week for patches and stickers. We appreciate that. We have a subscribe star account. God and Guns is the subscribe star account, and there's a link in our show notes, which you can find at Farms Radio Network, or one day you might find that at our own website, because Doug is on the mid of our website.
It's getting closer. I got 2 more pages done on it.
Woohoo! And then Oathkeepers TV, if you haven't checked Oathkeepers TV, I don't know if it even exists anymore. Oathkeepers.org still exists, and there is Defend America Now is another website for non-members of Oathkeepers, or people who want to support or people who want to connect around the country and set up their own local communities. You can go to defendamericannow.com, I think it is. And our buddy Wally over there at Sub MOA Shooting has a coupon code for any reloaders that need premium bullets, and that's God and Guns. And then you get the last two, Doug.
And we got Axelson Tactical. Excuse me. If you're looking for a high quality gun, a tack driving machine, they make custom ARs, custom bolt guns, long range guns, custom pistols, knives. If you're looking for it, Axelson makes it. Go check our buddies out at axelsonusa.com. And when you find something you like, which you will, use our promo code God and Guns, get a 10% discount on it just for listening to the show. Also, Palmetto State Armory. Hey, we don't have a discount code for them, but there's plenty of stuff out there. If you want to build an AR, you're looking for parts, whatever you're looking for, optics. It used to have ammo. It's rare now, but sometimes there's out there. But you go out to Palmetto State. They have daily deals. If you're not a subscriber, check those guys out. And if you find something you like, use our link that's in our show notes, and we can shoot that to you if you ever need it. And what it does, if you follow that link, when you buy something, Palmetto State gives us a little bit of love back in return to help us do what we do. So help our buddies out at palmettostatearmy.com.
Good deal. What's the armed citizen of the week this week?
This week's armed citizen of the week comes to us from Flower Mound, Texas. A homeowner in Flower Mound, Texas defended himself and his home, excuse me, when a robber forced his way into the residence on September 13th of 2020. The burglary began at 2 p.m. in the afternoon when a robber broke into the home through a back door. Once inside, the robber was confronted by the homeowner. The homeowner verbally warned the robber several times to leave the residence. Despite the warnings, the robber continued to move toward the homeowner. Feeling threatened, the robber continued to advance, and the homeowner drew a firearm and fired a single shot at the robber inside the home. The robber was struck in the chest and quickly fled the residence after the shot. The wounded robber made his way to a vehicle with a female accomplice waiting outside and fled the scene. Police responded to the scene a short time later and were able to locate the getaway vehicle in the area with both the robber and the accomplice. The wounded robber was transported to the medical center for immediate surgery and remained in critical condition at press time. The woman accomplice was taken in for questioning by authorities before being placed in custody for an unrelated parole violation warrant. Police said that no charges are expected to be filed on the homeowner. And that came to us from CrossTimbersGazette.com in Flowers Mound, Texas.
Well, that was quite an event.
That was an event. That was a pretty good one, actually.
Well,
there's all kinds of stories out there, man, of people defending themselves, their property, their homes, their families that don't get reported when bad people do bad things.
oh yeah, definitely. I forgot how many times that guns are used that police are never even contacted and told about that situation. They pull a gun, the guy runs off, and that's the end of it. I know I've had 5 incidences myself where I've had to use a gun to run someone off, and I never contacted the police. I just took care of it. They were on our property, or they were breaking into our property, or they were poaching on the property, things like that. So
I had 2. One of them was at a drive-through or a drive-through teller machine at an ATM. I was getting money. The guy pulled up behind me, and 2 guys were walking up beside my truck. And they got to the tailgate, and they were talking to each other. They just kept coming. I'm trying to get money out of the machine, and I reached over and grabbed my Glock. And the guy on the driver's side is looking at me in the mirror, looking at him. And he looked up at me again, and I raised the gun up just like that so he could see it in the mirror. And they didn't need money after all. They went and got back in their car and went around me and gone. Left.
Looking for an easier mark.
Yeah. Maybe we can find somebody that ain't going to shoot us.
Yep. Yeah, I've been followed a couple of times. I never actually pulled a gun. I just drove to the nearest police department. They seem to keep on going, but when they make 3 turns with you, you know that they're still with you. When you pull from the police department, they keep on going. You know it's okay.
It's miraculous, isn't it?
Yeah. I had this girl chase me one night. Nah, I go tell that story. That's going back a few years.
There I was.
There I was, innocently driving along. Actually, my brother was witness to that one. We went to town, and there was this stalking girl that, like, every time she saw me, she, like, chased, like, wanted to come talk to me and bug me. And I went to town with my brother one night to pick up pizza. And when we went through town, she saw my car, and she started following us back out. And so, I don't know if I told this one or not before. And so she was following me around. And so I took a turn and went towards Buffalo instead of going back towards our house, and went out and then went and turned left on 470 and went out to, what's that road? 210. Turned right out 210 and went out towards Ball Hollow well, out 210 towards Bahalo area, and she was chasing me all around. And so I hammered down, turned the lights off, and I turned off on Bahalo Road and drove back down there. And she kept going, and I turned my lights back on and went home. And then I went back to town later that night, and she had tried to chase me so fast she ran off the road and crashed into a cornfield. And I saw her truck getting towed in through town to the mechanic's garage. That was a weird night. All right, that's a weird story from my youth. All right, so we're going to wrap this thing up. Send your feedback to Troy at GuideGunsPodcast.com, or
Doug at GuideGunsPodcast.com.
please tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/Guide and Guns Podcast. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. Please do, because I don't know, Facebook might decide all of a sudden we're not going to be allowed there. Of course, Google might not allow us to be there either. Twitter might kick us off as well. We're over on Instagram for now. We got MeWe account for backup.
Hey, somebody asked me a while ago what was the MeWe account? Do you got that off the top of your head? Is it just God and Guns under MeWe?
Yeah, it's Guiding Guns or Guiding Guns Podcast. I'm also on there. So I've got an individual account, and then there's a Guiding Guns page that I post stuff over there from time to time. There's a whole lot of our listeners already have the MeWe, are connected up and are friends with me over there.
Mm-hmm.
I just this week set us up a, what's this thing? Wimkin. I don't know if you all have heard of Wimkin. WIMKIN. I set up a Wimkin site. It's sort of like a Facebook type site. It looks a lot like Facebook features and stuff. It's like a new startup, but a lot of conservatives move over there. There's like no censorship over there. Lots of conservatives over there. It's like just starting. So I've got us a page over there on Wimkin. WIMKIN, and it's just Guide and Guns. And then I'm over there on my personal account as well. So if you guys find me over there, you can befriend me as well. All right. Anything else, Doug? Anything else? Anybody in the audience?
Yeah, hey, I got two quick things, two plugs that I want to plug in, and they don't sponsor the show. They don't do anything for us, and they're just cool places that have found. One of them, we were in Gatlinburg a couple weeks ago. If I like T-shirts, I like T-shirts with 2A stuff on them. I'm wearing the Gas and Snake one tonight, and this one is made by a company called Warrior 12, and they are pro police, and they do fundraisers, and part of their proceeds go toward police fundraisers, the police departments, people that are wounded, that kind of stuff. So my wife bought me this shirt the other day. It's really cool. I went out and checked out their site, and I like them. So if you like T-shirts as much as I do, go check these guys out. It's warrior12.com. And also, if you're ever in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge has a really cool veteran store that's there. They sell hats. They got coins, patches, T-shirts, all kind of stuff. And veterans are up there running it, and it's a really cool store. If you're in the Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area, go down and check those guys out. I think it's called the Veteran Store is what it was. But there's a sign that looks like a vacant building, but if you get real close on the end of the building, it's like a little strip mall or whatever. So it's on the end, but if you look at the sign, it says they're in the store next door to them on the second floor. You go up the stairs and you go up there. But if you're in that area, hey, it's a cool store. Go check those guys out, and tell them you heard about it on God and Guns.
Good deal. Jason, I got an envelope in the mail today, and I forgot to open it up. I think it's got something in it. I'll have to check it out. I just saw Jason was on here. And I sent you were one of the ones that got a patch, and Steve just said he sent me his address, so that was all the patches. All right, I reckon that's going to wrap us up. So until next time, Doug, have a blessed week.
And keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for watching and joining in, and be praying for Louisville not to burn to the ground. And we've had some prayer requests for some of our listeners and stuff, so just keep those unnamed people in your prayers as well. And Y'all have a great night. Adios.
Good night, all.